We're going to start with number 10 and then go all the way down to number 1 and the best game for the iPhone of 2012. The number 10 game is Max Payne. This is a really great $2.99 application by Rockstar, the same people that brought you Grand Theft Auto and Max Payne for the console. This is a really great port that they've been able to bring over to the iPhone itself. I really like it because it plays very smooth and works well on the device. The controls feel really good, and the graphics are great for an iPhone game. Now, when you take a look at the game overall, it does consist of some really great third-person shooter gameplay. What you're able to do is shoot up your enemies while also following a nice and complex storyline, while still easy to follow for maybe some of the younger players. It's still a really great app, and it's got a lot of cool stuff. If you guys aren't familiar with the Max Payne games, basically he was a cop, and then he decided that he wanted to go more on the side of family, but he finds his family has been murdered. He has to unlock this whole conspiracy. There's a lot of different stuff, a lot of different action and gameplay involved, with a really great story along the way. It does provide hours of gameplay, and I highly recommend checking it out because it is a great application overall. Now, you can also scan the QR code with the red laser or an application like that to be brought right to the app page, or you can check it out, links in the description. I recommend getting this app, and if you do, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Now on to the number 9 game of 2012. True Skate's a great application on the App Store. For only $1.99, you can get tons of combos, pull off really cool tricks and stunts, and also complete different missions, all in an attempt to get in the top leaderboards and beat your friends. There's tons of cool achievements to unlock as well, and different stunts to learn. It's got a little small bit of a learning curve, but other than that, I really recommend trying it because it does have so many different possibilities of tricks. It's got your favorite real-life tricks as well, so it's not all this stuff made up. There are actual tricks in there, and they're not really easy, and they're not given to you. You have to try and actually get them, and this is great for some of the hardcore gamers who are looking for a really great experience for skateboarding on their iPhones. Now, it does take place in the portrait mode, which means it's not in landscape, but I actually think that is definitely a plus for this application, because what that means is you can fully take control of the skateboard, use the entire environment here. Now, it's got great 3D graphics, very fluid. I have yet to see it lag. It has not at all. It is a really great application, and I recommend you guys check it out in the App Store. Only $1.99, really great price tag for an application of this caliber. My only downside with the app is that it doesn't have any more parks. There's only limit to 1 park, but hopefully they come out with more in a future update. So yeah, give it a try. Every once in a while we see some of those gems in the App Store, and I definitely think that Punch Quest is it. Punch Quest is a really great application that lets you run along in an endless runner style, but it does get some kind of nostalgia with the graphics, which are really great, but at the same time bringing back some of the older games that we used to play. This is a really great application as far as endless runners go, and it definitely really gets that punch action to it. That's pretty much what the whole game is. You gotta punch enemies above you, below you, and in front of you. Definitely you gotta punch them, and there's a lot of different power-ups to go along with it. So it's not just an endless runner where you gotta defeat the enemies. There's also tons of cool power-ups which let you even turn into a dinosaur type, which lets you shoot lasers out of your mouth. And it's also got this really cool gnome feature, and there's a lot of different things. I really recommend trying it out. Now, it is 99 cents, and it does include some in-app purchases if you want to buy more coins, but coins are collected very easily and can help you get new power-ups, which will get you even more coins. I recommend trying this one out because I think once you try it for one time, you're going to get hooked. I recommend checking this app out in the App Store. It is only 99 cents. Alright, on to the number 6 app. LEGO games seem to be hit or miss these days, but LEGO Harry Potter definitely hit the mark, especially with their LEGO Harry Potter Years 5 through 7 port for the iPhone. This is a really great app that lets you be able to take control of your favorite Hogwarts characters on your quest to potentially defeat Voldemort and all of his other minions and Death Eaters. Now, this is a really great application that really takes place in the Hogwarts world, but brought to life with Legos. Now, I know it seems kind of weird, but if you've ever played these Lego games before, they can be really addicting, and you always want to build all of those bricks and destroy those bricks so you can get as many coins as you can, and it gets very, very fun very quickly. Once you give this a little try, I think you're going to get hooked. It does have the 3 years of content, which is a few hours of gameplay, so it does definitely have a lot of gameplay overall. One of my biggest complaints, though, is between the years 1 through 4 and 5 through 7, the controls totally changed, and I kind of liked it better in 1 through 4. But if you're going right into the game, I recommend going in through 5 through 7, because then you haven't been used to some of the better controls, and you can get used to it a little more quickly. It still is a great app, though, and you guys should probably try it. It is only $5 in the App Store, but it's definitely worth it. Coming in at the number 6 spot is Need for Speed Most Wanted. This great iOS port of the very popular Need for Speed franchise is absolutely stunning on the iPhone, especially on the iPhone 5 with the widescreen display. It plays really well, it's very fluid, and it really immerses you into the Need for Speed world. There's a lot of different events and a lot of different tracks to play on, and the graphics are so amazing that it's really great that they can actually fit this onto an app. Now, the app does, if I remember correctly, take a little bit over a gigabyte of space, so it does take up a lot of space, especially if you maybe have like a 32 gigabyte or 16 gigabyte iPhone. But I would really recommend it for all of the cars. There are a lot of them, and they all have their own special speeds, handling, abilities, all this different stuff. They've got all these boosts, nitrous. There's a ton of stuff that's all built into the gameplay overall. And there is a small bit of story going along with it. Mainly it is the races that you're used to in Need for Speed, but that is still great, and that is what we come for Need for Speed for. It is a great application, and you should try it. It is a higher price tag, but maybe sometimes EA tends to drop some of their games down to a lower price point, especially around the holidays. So check it out. Rounding out the number 5 spot is Angry Birds Space. Now, a lot of people tend to forget that Angry Birds Space did come out in 2012 and was an amazing integration of Angry Birds with some great physics. Now, a lot of people think, oh, Angry Birds Space and associate it with Angry Birds Star Wars, and don't worry, we'll be getting to that a little bit later. It's definitely made the list. But Angry Birds Space is a totally different application, and it made the list for entirely different reasons. One of the reasons that made this so great is it proved that the Angry Birds franchise could be made into something more than just the standard Angry Birds physics that we know today. So basically, instead of just the standard parabola that you are shooting the Angry Birds off of, you are able to go around the planets, take gravity into effect, use all these different gravity forces, and be able to aim the birds properly. It is definitely more of a brain teaser and puzzle for you guys to figure out, and it's got all these different features incorporated into the Angry Birds story with pretty much all the Angry Birds you know and love, but also some new additions and some new cool special features. Now, I know it has kind of gotten overshadowed by Angry Birds Star Wars, but don't get me wrong, these are two totally different games, and this game actually branches farther apart from the original Angry Birds than Angry Birds Star Wars does. So I recommend trying out the Angry Birds Space, especially for some of the cool physics that are involved. On to the number 4 application. Asphalt 7 Heat is a really great app with stunning graphics and this arcade-style gameplay. Now, as you guys know, I mentioned Need for Speed Most Wanted earlier in the review, and Need for Speed Most Wanted had a lot of realism and realistic versions of the cars and the tracks. Now, Asphalt 7 takes a totally different approach. They try to take it from more of an arcade style game with the nitrous boost coming along the way and being able to pick it up, and more of a bashing and being able to pick up all the nitrous and roaring through to the finish line than Need for Speed Most Wanted, trying to make it more realistic. So I definitely think these are two kind of different games, even though they're both in the racing genre. But let's get back into Asphalt 7, which is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to arcade-style gameplay. Now, it does have some of these in-app purchases that are built into it, but other than that, it is great, and it is available for kind of a low price point, at least at the time of filming this. I really recommend checking out Asphalt 7 Heat for some of these great features that you know and love, and for the fact that it includes some really great old-style arcade racing features, such as picking up the nitrous boost and being able to slam your enemies right out of the track. It's a really great game, and you should definitely try it. It is currently available at a low price point at the time of filming this, so there is no reason why you shouldn't pick it up in the App Store. Link below and QR code in the video. We'll be back with the top 3 iPhone games of 2012 right after the break. Like a plague of its own, Plague Inc. has been roaring across the nation and has been infecting thousands and making them play the really addicting gameplay of Plague Inc. Who doesn't want to be in control of a super disease targeted against humans, and their one purpose is to wipe out all of humanity and drive them to extinction? This game is great, and it puts a lot of different challenges into it, and there's lots of cool updates to come. I even read on a blog somewhere that they're going to be coming out with a zombie infect version in this game. Now, it's not currently confirmed yet, but hopefully they do, and that would definitely be a really great added feature. But other than that, they have a lot of different versions that you can play with. You start out with like bacteria, you can go on to like super diseases, a ton of different stuff, and you design everything about the disease, how deadly it is, try to get it spread, all of the details. How does it spread? Through the air, through the water? Does it pass through insects? What does it do? Does it make you sneeze? There's a lot of different things that it adds, and really, who doesn't love a game where the end goal is to kill everyone? It's still a really great app, and it is not that easy to win. Some see that as good, some people see that as bad, but I definitely like the fact that it is more of a challenge even when you're playing on some of the easier game modes, because what that means is it's not just given to you, you have to actually strive to wipe out the population. This is a really easy impulse buy for 99 cents, and I'm sure you'll be addicted to it for a very long time. Fieldrunners 2 is a really great application, and it's definitely earned its spot as the number 2 iPhone game of 2012. This game actually tends to be very underrated. It is actually a lot better than some of the hype, and unfortunately it's not really appearing on the top charts that long. But I recommend checking it out because it is one of those hidden gems that you may not know about yet. And that's one of the reasons that it was very close to getting the first place. It was just overtaken in the last second, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. Fieldrunners 2 provides excellent gameplay overall, and it's got a lot of cool updates and features with this nice coin system that's integrated right into it, and it is available for $2.99 in the App Store, which is a decent price for a game of this nature. Now, one of the main things that the game goes into is it is a tower defense game, which means that you got to set up all of your towers and try to destroy all of the field runners that try to come in. Now, there's a lot of different types of field runners. There's medics that try and heal them. There's tanks. There's a ton of different things that they just bombard you with wave after wave, and you got to withstand the pressure and not let any escape to the other side. I definitely recommend snagging this application as soon as you can, because I'm sure you will be playing it a lot. The other cool thing about this app is it is a great app to play when maybe you're working or you're procrastinating from your work, and you're able to play it between doing other things, because it's one of those games that keeps going on, and it's a great game to pick up and play, maybe pause it, play it a little later. It's one of those really cool games that I just got to recommend to all of you guys. Definitely pick up a copy. Link in the description and QR code you got to scan with red laser. A very anticipated and excellent iPhone game this year was Angry Birds Star Wars. The sheer gameplay, the pair-up, everything about this game definitely speaks for itself in making it the #1 iPhone game of 2012. It's definitely a must-have at its low 99-cent price point and is phenomenal overall. There's a lot of cool things, and the fact that you've combined Angry Birds, one of the best and most well-known iOS franchises, with one of the best movie franchises, Star Wars, is absolutely phenomenal. They do a really great job integrating the characters, and it's actually humorous how they add some of the older Angry Birds characters and give them a new makeover, making them look like the Star Wars characters. It looks really great, it feels really great, nice and smooth. Some of the cool gameplay that you remember Angry Birds, the original game playing, and it really brings you back, and it also brings you back to the Star Wars movies. Now, one of the main things that I didn't really like about it, I do have to kind of add this in to make it fair, is the fact that it didn't have as many cutscenes as I would want, and it didn't involve as much backstory. But that aside, it does have really great features. It's got the force push, it's got lightsabers, it's just got a ton of features all wrapped up into this one ball, and the app is definitely absolutely amazing. I recommend to anyone getting Angry Birds Star Wars, especially at the price it is now, less than a cup of coffee. It's a really great game, and it's going to get you coming back for more and more, and they got lots of updates planned for the future. There's also tons of bonuses that you can get unlocked and are hidden within the game, and it is really a great game to pick up and play once in a while, and it's one you're going to keep coming back to. Did you not see your game? Let me know what your favorite game is in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys later. I'm out from AppFind. Bye. If you guys were wondering what the little QR code that was appearing over here is, I'll show you how to use them right now. Go into the App Store and type in Red Laser. Once you download the application, or any other QR code scanner, you'll bring it up, you'll agree to the terms and conditions, and next time you see one of these little codes at the bottom left of my screen, all you gotta do is tap Scan, hold it up to the screen, hit Yes, and it'll open up the App Store and go to the app that you want to download. It's that easy and that simple. It's just another way us over here at AppFind make it easier for you to access your apps.